put you into a base.
He's
like
alive.
80.
Wow.
It's like 80.
I guess it's you smoke a lot of weed, sing country music, or be black. That's
Those are the rules.
how to stay alive. I guess.
Who the fuck is Charlie Pride?
Charlie Pride, classic. He did what is it? God damn it, something like. Oh no, I can't even think of what the song is. It's like "Kiss an Angel, Good Morning," I think is what it's called. It was like his big one. He's like Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings.
He's like Little Nas X, but back in the day.
60s country music,
Yeah,
probably.
but he's black.
Yeah, he was the only black
guy.
country artist until.
Yeah.
That guy right there. Yeah, Charlie Pride was the only black man in country music until Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah, I guess they count. Darius Rucker counts.
And now we have Darius Rucker.
And Little Nas X. Yeah, right?
No.
And Kid Rock.
Billy Ray
Kid
Cyrus
Rock's
doesn't
not
count
black.
either.
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus doesn't count either.
Kid
Don't
Rock.
break my heart.
You know,
Not
Kid Rock
make
just
me
did a
break
tour.
your heart.
Wheeler Walker Jr. opened for him. He's a country comedy writer.
Oh.
He's 3 albums out, and they are fucking hilarious. They're so good.
So
but
Kid
it's
Rock
like
has comedians opening for him?
Well, because the thing is with him, it's also like good country music. Like it's
if you insist that it exists, okay.
Yeah, he but pretty much like all of his songs are goofy. Like the one that introduced me to him, my brother sent it to me. It's called "Drop 'Em Out," and it basically goes, "Drop 'em out, let me see them titties. Let's take a long look at those." Take old biddies. Yeah, that one. That's Wheeler Walker Jr. off his first album. And then now he has 2 more after that. The second one, the big song, was Pussy King. And then this new one, he just had a kid, so all of his songs are about, like, you know, all the pussy you will slay is one of them.
Wow.
That's great.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Charlie Pride right there. Yeah.
And every time they ask me why, I just smile and say,
A sudden urge to fuck a cousin.
you got
To kiss an angel good morning.
better know you think about it when you're gone.
He's like love her like a devil.
Kiss an angel
Good
All
morning.
right, this isn't bad.
over like the devil when you get back
home.
All right.
Yeah, man. Country Gold Radio. There you go. See if this
Any
is-
of you were at this table were related, I'd have a big old boner.
You wouldn't be the first at this table to have an awkward boner from a family member.
Dude, I'm just really excited. None of my family's hot. That's what I'm happy for.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everyone's fucking each other and their family on the internet. So
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I'm glad my stepsister doesn't look like that.
Doesn't speak so well about your gene pool, though.
Right?
I like how you just totally demolished the free cup that we gave you. You're just like, I'll just use this as
It's
putting
not ash.
shit in. What is it?
It's vaped marijuana.
Oh.
So you can get grass to like 185 degrees Celsius, and the THC will come out in a vapor without actually burning the carbon inside of the plant matter. So it's the healthiest,
What is
safest
your college
way to...
degree in?
I almost got one.
Oh, you didn't get one?
Oh, I thought you did.
Oh.
No, I like to tell people I left college in 2017. We broke up. I went to Chico State for agriculture, but
Okay.
Is that why you lived in a yurt?
yeah, right after college, I had no job prospects. So there was this organic lettuce farm in Petaluma, and they were like, you can live for free. And I was living with my parents for 3 weeks, taking care of my dad after hip surgery, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. So I lived in a yurt with no indoor plumbing, and then I was like, I need a hobby, and I started doing stand-up comedy.
Do you guys know what a yurt is?
Fucking here it
No.
is. Okay,
A
so
tent?
picture a teepee.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's a Mongolian tent, basically. Yeah, it's
Big
wider
circle.
than a teepee.
Did you have your own yurt? You didn't have to share a yurt?
Yeah, I had my own yurt, but that actually,
What did you have to do?
because
Like pick lettuce,
that's a
or-
question that'll be asked later. But that was the first joke I ever did. Was like, do you guys know? I was like, I live in a yurt, and I'd get blank faces because I'm in San Francisco,
Oh, yeah.
and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, so picture a teepee. Perfect. And then I get a laugh every time, and that was, I'm like, oh, cool, I know how to make jokes, and
Yeah.
I kept doing stuff from there. But no, it wasn't bad. I had a ceiling window. That was the fucking coolest.
That sounds really
Dude,
cool.
yeah, except on a full moon, then I was like a Disney princess, you know, because when the moon was awake, I was awake.
Yeah.
But no, that place, I mean, I'm glad I had a ceiling window. The smoke had somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But No, but that was hard. Those were hard days. I'd go pick lettuce for 10 hours or package lettuce, or I'd drive to the city and sell lettuce. So I'd show up in a truck, unload, a couple of pallets of produce, sell them for 8 hours, then load them back up and drive back to Petaluma.
Oh.
So my weekends were like 10, 12-hour days regularly. But, I was 3 months into comedy, so I didn't need weekends off.
Do you eat lettuce?
So
No.
during when I was there, like a fucking rabbit. But now I'm on the road all the time.
Yeah.
Now I'm living in Napa, and I'm coming up here. It's just so many bags of food. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fast food lately. It's bad.
I agree.
It's really bad.
Well, it's better than hospital food, so.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's true. Well, now it's going to be weird to start the show off. Now I got to be like, you're listening to
we're not
Gag on
recording?
this?
That's fine.
No, we're recording.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like,
I just have my spiel.
Well, do
Oh,
your
I'm
fucking
sorry.
Spiel.
Do your fucking spiel.
Do you want to do the spiel?
No.
No.
You look so serious.
Why so serious? It's because I
Now
got
you guys are just joking around.
No, you can't look that serious with a pregnant chicks are hot T-shirt.
Yeah.
This is the best fucking T-shirt ever.
That says, oh, that's hilarious.
I know. I asked him. I was like, "Is it trashy that I bought pregnant
Yes.
chicks are hot?" And he was like, "I don't even know how to respond to that."
Yeah.
Now,
I got out of the car and I was like, seriously? You're fucking
mean,
gross.
do
Yeah.
you just get like dirty looks from women like all day when you have that, or are
This
they
is
like?
my first time wearing it.
Oh man, let me know. I want
You
to
get
like.
dirtier looks so if he's like pregnant chicks put out or something like that.
They had one.
I mean, they do by definition.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's a good point.
I forgot what
Unless
they
it was
had.
a test
no,
tube.
I did get a bad Married with Children.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Remember, they had No Ma'am. Whose phone?
Mine
whose
vibrated
buzzing?
once, and I got that shit off the table. So which one of you's being unprofessional?
Not mine. It's him.
Oh, is that me from the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, because we're on the stage.
Nope,
Your vibrations are loud.
That was me. I thought I turned it off. Sorry.
Oh, and you
All right.
let me take the blame. Wow, I want another cup.
I'm giving this to my mother. No.
But no, I bought a No Ma'am T-shirt.
Uh huh.
I remember
And
that.
yeah, and nobody got the reference. That gave me a lot of dirty looks
Oh, I bet.
because I was like one chick was just so like, oh, and I was like, it's Married with Children thing, and then I showed her the back because it has it broken down, and she still, I don't think she saw the show ever.
No.
Right.
A lot of
So-
people haven't.
I mean,
It's a
it
great
was.
fucking show.
It
was
is a great
on,
show, but a lot of people didn't
45
like it.
years ago. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
How
least
old are
30
you? Are you
years old.
23?
26.
Oh, 26.
Oh, my
I was
God.
right the first time.
Yeah.
I have abortions older than you.
So does my mom.
I wish I was
No, God aborted that one. Is that horrible to say about a miscarriage? It's okay. I've instructed my parents not to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Good call.
I'm going to put a disclaimer in. If you are related to me and over 40, do not listen to this.
That'll just
It
make
is
them want to
your
listen more.
Own fault after this.
Yeah, it's your own fault. You
know.
choose that.
It doesn't go terribly wrong. We're pretty good at not talking to each other in my family, so it's
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about your family too.
oh, good.
Gag on this podcast, recording live from Blacktop Comedy, blacktopcomedy.com, blah, blah, boop, blacktopcomedy.com for all your comedy needs. Woo! Thank you, guests. Check the episode description for the show and guest social media. Like what you hear, leave a review. Hate what you hear, go fuck a shit pussy. But leave us a review. I'm assuming that's what gay
That
men.
made me think of infants.
No, that's what gay men probably call
Shit in a pussy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Some of you have kids.
I'm assuming that's what gay men call their butt. A shit pussy.
A shit pussy?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
They call it probably their ass.
Well, it technically is a shit pussy, though.
They don't want to fuck a pussy because that's why they're gay.
All right, fine.
I think they have a bring a friend meeting coming up, so I'll go ask him for you.
Why don't we ask Jason Anderson? We'll just email Anderstorms and ask him.
Find us on a bunch of podcast places. Not on one you use. Email us, gagonthspodcast@gmail.com, and let us know. Or if you're feeling frisky, we'll take a picture of your shit pussy.
What are you saying?
We never get anything anyways. Nobody's brave enough to show us their
Shit
bunghole.
pussy.
Exactly. I'm Big Nick. I'm joined by my Portuguese lover that is Rob. Hello. We are joined by the Italian stallion that is Danny T.
Woo woo.
What? And of course, the voice you heard laughing at shit pussy was none other than Jake fucking Rizzly.
Oh, he's so angelic. Look at that hair.
By the way,
Woo!
my fiance thinks you're fucking adorable.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's probably the only reason you're on the show.
No, the women after none of my own age, but everyone that could like be a maternal figure for me. They're like, "You're the cutest thing I've ever seen." I'm like, "Great," and your daughter hates me.
Oh,
Well, part of
So
this.
you don't like older women? Okay.
They like me though.
Part of
You're
this
just
job.
so adorable.
It's the hair.
It is.
It is.
100% the hair. You
It
know who
is.
loves this hair?
I know.
I'm recorded.
Yeah. Shayna Shaver.
I
likes
used
your hair.
no. Well, that too. I wasn't even. I was worse than that. When I was living in Sac a couple months ago, I lived in South Sac, and let's just say everyone in the neighborhood stopped and told me they loved my hair, and it was pretty cool. Black people love my hair. That's what I'm trying to say. I get
Yes.
stopped all the time. Older black women stop me at Target.
Lord Jesus, you
All
got
the
them
time.
curls.
Song of the South. No,
You're a pretty fine white boy.
Oh my God, your hair is so great. I'm like, thanks. I grew it myself.
now for those of you that can't see him, I'm getting
Oh,
a
what? That's the first
Look at the
thing that-
promos.
look at the
I'm on
promo, but
I'm on the
also
thing.
I'm picturing like from the '80s Def Leppard drummer before he lost his arm.
Yeah, I was about to say, everybody give him a hand.
Yeah. Oh. No, but I totally got that. Like, but anyway, and I just can't get over how he was cracking up, like laughing so hard at the shit pussy reference.
Yeah.
And he goes straight front, and he backed away from the mic, and he's like cracking up, and he goes straight to the. Oh,
I'm sure Paul would love to know that.
Oh yeah,
Daddy,
good
what's
point.
this?
We're an octopus. No, I was going to say part of this job for research is social media stalking, which I've become quite adept to. Ooh. You, sir,
He loves it.
have a ton of pictures with some pretty fine ladies on your Instagram.
You have a lot of hot friends.
Like at first I was like, all right, he's got to be banging one of them, and it's just a revolving door of sexy chicks.
No, he hangs out with some pretty people.
I do.
Like it was, but it was when you were in college, right?
Oh.
What happened? You turned it off?
I just left a pretty person's house. So
Like,
you
what-
just go
his-
straight in. No, everyone's like, "What? Why is he talking like there's an edit? There was
His
no
best
edit."
friend is really pretty too.
He is a
Of the girl,
very attractive
the
man.
girlfriend that you have.
No, there's some controversy about who my best friend is. My friends fight about it,
Okay.
so I'm a pretty special guy.
I just have
All
multiple.
right, well let's do some breaking news then. Who is your best friend?
Mark Montague.
Oh, who's your
Oh,
lady best
shit.
friend?
My lady best friend is Alex Spolasic, and
Okay.
I fucking hope I said that right.
You don't know your lady
She-
best friend's last
Look,
name?
why don't you go look at her name, and then she's like, "You should know." Now I'm doing an impression. You'd be pissed. God damn. No, I fuck it up all the time. But
How long have you known her?
several years. I met her in college. My two college best friends are her, Chris Boggs. He's a piece of shit. So yeah, they both. He lives here in Sacramento. He just moved out here. He did agriculture too. His dad was a cop. He went to high school in Vacaville. I went to high school in Napa. We just star-crossed lovers, found each other in Chico, and
Yeah.
made the same mistake of joining the same fraternity at the same time. And
What fraternity?
Alpha Sigma Phi.
I just like it when guys say the fraternity names. I think it's sexy.
No, I quit. It
Alpha
was
Sigma
cool.
Phi.
There was a handful of guys in there that the ones in Sacramento. I think just about all of them come to shows. Those guys are pretty tight, but the vast majority of it's horseshit.
Did you have to go through the initiation? Like what?
We didn't really. We were
Did
so.
you eat like a yuck? What is
so
it?
when my
Cookie cookie.
Did
when
you eat
my
a cookie?
no, I never had cum on a cracker. Never played soggy waffle.
What is that?
What the fuck is that?
It's the same game, but with an Eggo. All right, come on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, boomer.
Oh.
You know what it means now?
Yeah, I do.
The listeners are gonna be like, "Oh my God, there's continuity."
Right. Someone
This is-
actually listens to our.
I was about to say, this is a guy that listens.
Yeah, I had it on the way.
He was stuck in traffic for a while.
Yeah, man, I forgot because I haven't been in the city for a while. I don't remember what I was talking.
We were talking about how you did not engage in a
I didn't have an
soggy
Okie
Eggo.
cookie, any
Yeah.
of that. So when at Chico State, I was just talking about this. To haze is against the law, basically. But
Oh, okay.
Wasn't that where the guy died?
yeah,
from drinking
I
too
believe
much
his
water?
I believe his name is Alex. So what actually happened is they had him in the basement, actually in a house across the street from my fraternity house. It's now a Jewish Heritage Center.
Oh,
Yeah. So this kid was in the basement, and they had all of the pledges doing really intense calisthenics, chugging alcohol, and then they were like, make sure to have a lot of water so you'll be healthy, right? Because they're idiots in that. Basically, what happens is your body gets too much water. The exercise, like, it fucks up your chemistry, and your blood cells just don't absorb water or oxygen, and you suffocate and die.
Oh.
So he passed out and never woke up. So Greek life was banned at Chico State. We're talking like the college of pioneer days where people were basically rioting every year to party.
Yeah.
So Chico locked it way the fuck down. And then right when I got there a couple years ago, they kind of loosened it up a little bit. But my fraternity was the first fraternity to colonize after that happened. So that fraternity was kicked off along with a couple others. Greek life as a whole went on suspension for years. They weren't allowed to do anything. And then my chapter came in 2011.
Oh, okay.
And then, which is when I graduated high school. So if I would have gone to college right away or a university right away, I could have ended up there anyway.
Yeah.
So our whole thing was no hazing. We like came out nationally as like no hazing. Like these hands don't haze is kind of like every Greek. Yeah.
These hands don't hate.
Yeah, man. Like, and weed's a gateway drug. None of that shit happens. And adults don't know how to talk to children. Never have, and it drives me up a fucking wall.
That motto what makes me want to abuse somebody.
Right? Oh my god! And it does not work. While I was there, another fraternity got kicked off because they went to a national forest and cut down like 26 trees.
Oh my gosh!
Federal property. They also had firearms up there.
That doesn't surprise me.
The thought of what was thrown around, what we think was happening, is the guys were doing push-ups and they were shooting over their heads. Because if you think about where Greek life came from, most of these organizations started in the mid 1800s. So this is, I mean, just after dueling stopped. I mean, we're talking the Wild West is still around here, right? Like we're just after the Civil War. My fraternity actually almost died during World War II. Most Greek life actually died in World War II because all the dudes died in Europe and in Japan.
Oh.
There were no men, so there's this whole thing in the 40s where Greek life as a whole in the 1940s pretty much died. So we merged with 3 other fraternities, something I don't really remember. We were down to a final member. There was one guy, and Ralph Burns, and he's like the fucking Jesus Christ of my fraternity.
No.
Like
he
they
the guy
named
from The
conferences
Simpsons?
after him. What?
Wasn't the old guy
Mr.
from The
Burns?
Simpsons?
Yeah, he could be, man.
Okay.
I mean, he was an old white guy. It wouldn't surprise me. But no,
Well,
Greek
Mr.
life
Burns
is
was yellow.
Yeah, it's true. Do you know why The Simpsons are yellow instead
Why?
of like somebody at the beginning of it wanted people to think their TV was fucked up. Because that was at the time when TVs, you could like change the contrast and stuff.
Yeah.
So you could fuck up, the color scheme on the TV. So we wanted people to think that their TV was messed up, and it was just to troll people.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but isn't it hilarious?
That is.
It
That's
is.
really funny. But
Fucking Tracy Ullman.
Mm-hmm.
What?
it's good.
That's where
That
the
was where it
Simpsons started. They were short at first.
And then they got taller.
No.
So what's his name again? Ralph Burns.
Yeah. He was the last member. He got everyone together, and now it's still a thing. I think right now the fraternity I was in, I'd actually get in trouble for saying I was in it. They're like, "You once an Alpha Sig, always an Alpha Sig." Okay,
That's hot. I like it.
Sure.
Sounds like such a.
Hey man, I
Sounds
bought
like a
into it.
douchey thing
It
to
sounds
say.
like such a
Oh my
douchey
god,
thing.
I felt
God.
those that first
I'm
year
just
I was
like
in it.
creaming in my seat over here. I'm
The
just like, really? Tell me more of
The
this.
first year I was in it was just such a level of acceptance. I felt so good about myself.
Yeah.
And then once I realized how superficial and bullshit it was, just deep depression. Horrible. Horrible. I was living in the house. It was awful. Quit the fraternity. It was bad.
Once an Alpha Sig,
But
always
there's
an Alpha
there's
Sig. You can't quit.
five guys off the top of my head right now that I wouldn't have met without being there that they'll be at major parts of my life for the rest of my life. They're
cool.
fantastic guys.
It wasn't that superficial.
The wholehearted. The one thing we all agree on, and it was that the whole thing was horseshit.
Got it.
That's what we all agree on. But those one of my best friends, Chris, that piece of shit. He was in that fraternity. My friend Alex was in AOPI sorority there, so we saw each other around at places. Just got along and stuck around for the next couple of years.
Cool.
And then my best friend, Dark Mark Montague.
Dark Mark Montague.
Wait,
Yeah.
I thought your best friend was.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Mark-
Keep up. That's his
No,
male best
Kindergarten together. So of them, and then there's like my college best friends, and then there's been other best friends.
Oh,
You know, you have
okay.
best
It's
friends
compartmentalized.
in your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And then when I'm sure I bet they'll all listen to this, and everyone will be like, "Fuck you," and I can't wait. I'm so excited for it.
That's probably a foreign
Um,
concept to Nick because Nick only has acquaintances. He doesn't have friends. He
That's
says,
good.
I told you that in confidence.
Oh,
Don't
whatever.
have
I was
people
feeling
that love
vulnerable.
No, having people that
That's
love
so
you is
strange
horrible.
to
Don't
me.
do it. It's the only way you're going to get hurt.
No, sorry. Well, since you brought it up, we'll give it context. No, we were talking about me and my fiance getting married, and I was like, I honestly don't know who I would invite, and she was just like, well, you have friends, and I was like, I never really had a friend growing up, like at all, like not even a best friend.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, but we don't talk at all.
Oh, what's the age difference?
15 months.
Oh shit!
So we were
Brother,
really
sister?
close, brother.
Oh wow, older or younger? You?
I'm younger.
You're younger. Okay.
Yeah.
You still don't talk after all that shit?
We'll text every now and then, like,
Oh.
hey, did you check out this game?
What is wrong with you? Go reach out to your family. Go give them a hug.
Dude, he's got his own life and whatever. But
Okay.
since I never had a friend, I don't really know, like, what it means to be a friend. Because, like, all these people will be like, hey, let's hang out. And I'm like,
Trying to get you to hang out is mission impossible.
I'm also usually in bed by...
Okay, but I've
7:30?
invited you in the middle of the day. Like, even your girlfriend. I'm like, hey, come on
Now,
out. Like,
is it
it's-
just because you want to be home?
I mean, I am a
Or-
homebody, but...
Right.
But I've had people say, like, I thought we had a... Like, I had one person say from work that left, we were texting a little bit, and then...
Sexting.
No, just when she left,
me
we were
your
just
nipples.
texting, and
She
then...
was like, "Let me see your shit pussy."
And then...
bend over.
And then, like, I just wasn't texting her as much, and she's like, I thought we had a genuine friendship, and I was like,
Oh.
I guess.
That's how I felt last
but
week.
did
I
you?
was like,
Did you just go?
Okay.
We did, yes, or you were just like, "Oh no."
No, I was like, yeah, but I admitted, I was like,
Well-
but a lot of times these are just how my friendships have always been. Like,
But as someone, like, as you know, you're fucking practically married. As a married guy, if I kept in touch with a woman that I used to work with after she wasn't working there anymore, I'd have hell to pay from the wife.
why?
Because she's jealous because of all this.
She's a jealous.
she's
her
a
problem.
jealous.
She's a jealous
jealous.
person.
This is.
No.
I don't know. I'm not. Never mind.
Say it.
What the fuck do I know? I'm 26. What do I
Right?
know?
He's a baby.
I can't speak on a marriage. I've never been
Married.
around somebody for 10 years except Mark. Mark and I were in kindergarten together, and then we played
Aw.
baseball together, and we were both garbage baseball players.
I
and
was
then,
just about to ask.
yeah,
you if
and
you
then
were
he
good.
hit puberty at 8, and I came around 8 years later, and at that point, I'm not even kidding. He was like playing varsity baseball, and I was cut on the first round 3 times for high school
Ow.
baseball.
Oh,
I got cut from the JV team twice.
What a trooper for
And then all
going
my
back
friends
out.
were like, no, man. The varsity coach likes you. He'll put you on for pity. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
And he did not from you. First round again. I was the only one he cut.
Oh, wow.
poor
Great guy.
baby.
Shout out Todd Friday. Dope U.S. history teacher. And one usually pretty funny. Don't fuck with the Cubs, though. He gets real upset.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He gets real upset. I'm like, right, I'm a dork for getting upset about Star Trek, but crying because the Cubs lost.
Cubs always lose.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the difference is between Napa? Do you do comedy in Napa?
I'm working on it.
I was just say, is there really comedy in that?
No, because
No.
everyone's rich and white and pretentious.
Yeah.
Well, you'd probably go to Santa
Roanoke
Rosa.
Park.
You can, but it's similar. I don't want to speak. I did start Petaluma, the Roaring Donkey.
Yeah.
Was the first. Well, the first mic I did was the Down Low in Chico. I actually followed Dylan Collins. Yeah, weird running into him a year and a half. I'm doing his show next Friday.
Nice.
Something like that. And then I was doing the Donkey and doing some stuff in the Bay, but I don't know. I don't really like doing the Bay. Oakland's kind of cool. There's some spots in Oakland, but I don't know a lot of comics there anymore. So it's just worth more of my time to come up here, even though it's farther. The SAC, it's the best place I've found from, I don't know, Chico to South Bay.
Really?
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, and LA sucks.
Yeah.
God, LA mics are horrible.
Yeah, that's what Johnny Taylor was saying.
Yeah, just talked about that
Ask-
last week. Yeah, it's like, here's your 3 minutes. Go.
Yeah. I went to one of those. Made a pilgrimage to the Comedy Store. One of my brothers lives in Anaheim, so I stayed with him and went to the Comedy Store. Met up with Saul and
Just recently?
like a month ago.
Oh wow.
So I met up with Saul at his house in the parking lot. And follow Saul on Facebook and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So we went, and it's a lottery system.
Yeah.
And I got called. I was like number 5, and then to do 3 minutes, and then he was number 37 or something.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not spending my vacation listening to this bullshit.
Yeah.
And I left, and I did my time. I went up and I did. I've never done 3 minutes before. Like, the lowest I've ever been asked to do is 4, and I can do 4, but none of my jokes are gonna fit in a 3-minute spot. So I just did like 2, and then was like, all right, thanks, bye. And like I did my bits. They laughed where they were supposed to be, but it was a room of 50 comics.
Yeah.
You know, it's these 50 LA comics, and you could tell like there were 8 people in there that were like girlfriends and boyfriends and people that got dragged to this bullshit.
Yeah.
Those people laughed at all of my stuff, and then nobody else. And I was like, I fucking don't need to do this.
Yeah.
And then I went to the store, and it was fucking awesome. So dope.
I love the Comedy Store.
Oh my God, I want to live there.
Yeah.
wanna
Jackie
live
and
there
I
forever.
went out there last year, and we met Tom Baum, and we were standing in line, and Doug Benson
I love Doug.
cut in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
I
at the
was-
door or
no,
in the back?
like I was at the outside bar trying to order a drink. And
Like the entrance to the OR?
yeah.
Okay.
And so he like cut in front of me, and I was like, "Hey,
And he's
just
like,
because
I
you're
need a
Doug
Tito's and
Benson."
soda.
Yeah, I was like, "Just because you're Doug Benson, don't get in front of me." And he's like, "All right." He's like, "I'll buy you a drink since you know who I am." And I was
That's
like,
nice.
"Okay, cool."
Dude, I want to be on Doug Love's movies so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the most attainable person on there. I was thinking about just kind of stalking Chad Opitz and starting to jerk him off. Be like, hey, you want to introduce me? Like, I think I'm willing to do, like, I'm not sure what everyone was so upset about with all this Me Too stuff. Like, I'll suck a dick. I don't care.
Yeah, me too.
I'm fine.
Me too. Hashtag
What, Louis C.K.
Me
Hey,
too.
Louis C.K. said it best. He's like, we've all had foods we don't like the taste of. Like, fucking, so what?
Usually those foods don't squirt in your face. But
What? That's not true. You ever eat a donut thinking it's cream filled and it's custard? And you're like, oh my God, like I get it.
look at me. Do I discern between donuts?
It doesn't look like you've ever eaten a donut. That's why your wife's so jealous. You're just such a physically fit man.
Check out his calves, by the way.
Yeah, his
Great.
calves are amazing. His calves are a godsend.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I want to lick them.
You have big calves? Is that?
I guess.
You know who has huge, enormous Herculean calves is Todd Priddy, U.S. History, Napa High School. Shout out again.
Jesus Christ.
He does. It's crazy.
Well, he's a coach.
It's crazy. He
Send me a
played AAA
picture.
ball. Like he
Send me a picture.
is.
You could probably just go
Like-
on like
So you know how
Google 'em.
Anybody watch baseball? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So the last few years, all the ball players have their pants all the way down, right? Like
Yeah.
it used to be, baseball
stirrups.
pants went to the knees and the
Yeah.
stirrups, like in the 70s and stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's like they all wear baggy pants, fucking
Yeah,
Big
I
Poppy.
hate that.
Right. Well, because of that, right? Because you can't
Big
see their
Poppy.
physique, right?
Yes,
That's your issue.
yes,
Danny's all
yes.
about the D. So
Yeah. Always.
this dude's calves, you can see through his baseball
Wow.
pants.
Okay.
It's nuts.
Sounds delicious.
Oh man, he's married. He's got kids.
I don't-
I think he had the home run record for the high school, and then his kid beat it. And I'm like,
nice.
Oh, that's
some-
cool.
That's man. I wish
Keeping it
my
in the
dad loved
family.
me as much as he did. Like
That's
that. I'm
competitive
like,
shit
wow.
right there.
Wow. Like, could you imagine, like, your dad's like, oh, this would be great if you did it. And then you actually did it, and he was like, I love you. Like, wouldn't that be crazy?
What if he did it and his dad was like, fuck you?
Yeah, seriously. What if that was his dad's claim to fame?
That could, I don't think that's true, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of dads,
Family. My dad.
yes, the first time I saw you do comedy where my fiance fell
You
in
were
love
at
with
that
you,
show?
where he bounced somebody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to talk about that for a while.
Wait, what?
So my dad was a cop in the city of Napa for Napa Police Department for
Really?
29 years.
Yeah, he retired recently, right?
He was in the middle of retiring. He had a hip replacement. Basically, my dad worked 60 hours a week, like my entire childhood in graveyards. So I saw him like an hour a week, and he wear like 40 pounds of belt, and he was a cop in the 90s. So nightstick. Well, and then he had nunchucks for most of his career because he's a ninja.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it got down when he got to be like one of the oldest officers there. He was one of 3 that were allowed to have nunchucks anymore. They were like, we're not doing anywhere. Pretty much all law enforcement has the baton now, the ASP, the extendable one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had
my
that
dad's
is so
like,
cool.
fuck that, I'm gonna get nunchucks. Well, they're great. My dad before body cams. Basically, it's so horrible. But basically, like,
Oh my god.
law enforcement didn't have the fucking Batman utility belt that they have today,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They got 18 different things.
Yeah.
My brother's a cop now. He works for.
Is your dad proud of him?
I mean, I get he wouldn't tell us. So that's horrible. He has said
What?
those words. I just, it's your dad. You love him and you hate him at the exact same time, and that's
Yeah.
your dynamic for the rest of your life. And then you die, and that's how life.
That'll change as you get older, I'm sure.
I don't know. He doesn't talk to his. That's my grandpa's fault, though. He has a little issue with big words that we said, hey, don't use those, especially in public. And he's like, it was fine before. And I'm like, yeah, but Grandpa, they're people too.
I have to tell my grandma that sometimes too.
Yeah, no, my
It's
grandpa's
not
crazy.
1926 anymore.
I used to do this joke. I go, my grandpa's so crazy. He's afraid of the dark. And I go, I'm sorry, I fucked that up. My grandpa's so crazy. He's afraid of the dark
darks.
people.
Oh. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't do that
that's
one
about
anymore,
it.
huh?
So I backed up. I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna tell jokes, you got to do something that you got to go for.
Right.
And be like, oh, that might not work.
So getting back to why you couldn't talk about
Oh, right.
it.
Okay, so my dad was retiring on
Yeah.
medical. So the whole thing was like, he's fucked up, he can't do it. But it's also like you can't, it's like a dog after surgery. Like you gotta hold it down because it'll just react, right? And my dad's same sort of thing. He tried to let that bouncer do it, but
That bouncer was old and having a
What
hard
happened?
time.
well, my dad was old and having a hard time. It's you mad dog it a little bit. So Al was getting heckled again because it was his like 9 months of getting heckled at like every other show. I don't know if you remember that happening.
First, it was Joey C.
Yeah, this guy.
Is this at Tommy T's?
No, this is at Bar 101 in
Roseville.
Oh,
Downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the whole thing was Joey C was like, I'm gonna make you guys do shots of moonshine, and then we're gonna do the show, and you're gonna do 5, and then in the middle of it, I'm gonna bring you 2 shots, and you got to do them on stage, and then do the rest of the show. And I'm like, child's play. So
Yeah.
I was like, you want me to be drunk? I gotta double those numbers, or this isn't gonna happen.
I was in a frat.
So exactly. Yeah, and before that, I drank with rednecks, so like I got it. I didn't black out till I was 24.
Oh, right.
So
Alpha Sigma Psi.
anyway, close. So we used to play this game. We'll get back to that story, but real quick, drinking thing in college, I learned how to play this game called Thunderstruck. You guys are familiar with the AC/DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck. Okay, so everyone has their own drink, or you have ideally like a big old pitcher or a bucket of alcohol, and you can't play with liquor. We decided that because it's not safe. But basically, when they go thunder, the first person starts drinking, and then when they say thunder again, you stop, and the person to your left starts drinking, and then every time they say thunder, you go down the circle, and then there are those parts where they go thunder, and then it just sits for a minute, and they do this
Yeah.
whole like interlude guitar solo, and somebody's sitting there chugging this thing. So every now and again we break that out, and we want to be idiots on people's birthdays and whatnot.
Oh, that sounds like a great
So,
game.
yeah, it's a really fun drinking game. You should really try it with all your friends and kids. So this guy's heckling, and he gets on stage just. He seemed out of it, drunk or something, and he just wouldn't leave. And then the bouncer got up there on stage while Al's in the middle of his set and was like, or Joey, I think at this point I was outside.
Yeah.
No, it was Al. Al was on stage.
The dude came up to the stage a couple of times.
He came up to Joey, and Joey, he said on the mic, "Hey, you want me to take over for you?" And Joey's like, "No, sit the fuck down, Sambo."
Yeah.
And then he went, and then Al got up, and then he comes up and he's like, "Hey, I can take over for you." And Al was just like, "Hey, why don't you go sit the fuck down?"
Yeah.
And then that's when the bouncer came.
The bouncer came up, and then the moment the dude put his hands on the bouncer, my dad triggered into
Just
it
reacted.
and just went in and does. I mean, that's what you do at
How old is
2
your
o'clock.
dad?
Turned 55 on the 17th, 3 days ago.
He bounced him.
He
Fucking
bounced him
good,
right
too.
the fuck out. It's easy. I mean, before my dad was a cop, he did security at Marshall's.
Oh.
So yeah, which is an old-fashioned thing to say now. It's like a Blockbuster. They don't exist.
Yeah.
That's what I love about being 26 is like that was the last age where but like I went to Hollywood Video and nobody even knows what that is.
I know what that is.
Right?
Hollywood.
Hollywood Video, but like Like my youngest brother's 18 and he's never been to a video store. Maybe he has once or like independent ones in other places, but he doesn't know what it was like when everyone was like,
when you had to go rent a movie on a Friday night.
Yeah, when other families were renting movies and stuff.
When you had to like return it by a certain date.
Yeah, he doesn't need late fees. He didn't know what that means.
remember what it was. You had to rewind.
Please
the
be
movie.
kind and rewind.
Be kind, rewind.
Yeah.
Or else you got
it's a
charged,
Jack Black and Most Deaf movie, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's right. Doug loves movies. Shout out. Let's do it.
Was the regional store manager for Blockbuster, and I remember it just for hours. He would just sit in there and rewind fucking movies.
So, because my dad was working security at Marshall's in 1990, before body cams and lawsuits, he would chase people out of the store that stole shit and like tackle them to the ground.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like a mall cop.
That $2.99 belt needs to go back.
him and Rick. It was all his fun stories were with Rick, and then he would catch him, and then he would call the beat cop, Kenneth Chapman, who later on my dad gets hired on the same department with Ken, and my dad and Ken were both school resource officers at Napa High and Vintage High, the two big high schools in Napa, and then they were both one year given like a piece of nice paper. Like card stock that was like, hey, thanks for everything you've done in the schools and stuff. They were great school resource officers. Really fucking frustrating being in high school and your dad is the fucking cop there.
I bet.
Yeah, I went my freshman year. My dad was security guard at the school I went to. It was horrible.
My dad, like,
it was horrible.
I was just a narc for no matter whether I was or not.
Yep.
I didn't know one.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it at the time, and it was like, oh, cops are like, oh, my dad's a superhero and everything. I didn't know humans existed. You know.
The dad in me feels so sad right now.
This is how your kid's going to be talking about you come 26.
My kid, come 26, my kid will be like, yeah, my dad died 10 years ago.
How old's your kid now?
6.
Don't say that.
So you're giving yourself 10 years? That's pretty. That's pretty liberal, I'd say.
Yeah, it's time for 2 heart attacks.
47.
Oh, you're fine.
So, tough as shit.
You're fine.
Your calves will save you.
Rub some dirt on it. Your calves will.
Some dirt on it.
When your calves start to like look worse, then you have to worry about it.
When they start to atrophy.
Great.
Yeah. Then it's all downhill from there. I'll let you know.
Have you thought about being a British rock star? They live forever.
Yeah.
I think you can convert.
You got to do drugs, though. Are you up for
They're
drugs?
having to bring a friend meeting. I'll show up.
Those days are way behind.
Drugs?
More.
Tattoos. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting in the way. I don't get that.
We're not allowed to talk about it? Okay.
Wait, which lips?
My lips. All tattooed up. They say daddy's got issues. What is it?
Daddy's issues.
Daddy's issues. Daddy
Daddy
issues.
Yes.
That's what Nick likes.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Pregnant chicks.
Apparently, so do I. But
Oh, did you look her up?
who?
David Morgan?
Oh no. I just shouldn't. I should not run my mouth.
No, I follow. There's this podcast, Countryfied Podcast.
I've heard of it.
It's actually pretty good. And we're at war now because he said he's the best podcast in Sacramento, and I was just like, "Fucking knives out, bitch!"
Oh, nice.
Jokingly, but
I got a bunch of knives.
He always posts. Your dad still got those nunchucks? Yeah.
No. I don't.
Did he use them well? Like, was he like a ninja
So they're
turtle?
crowd control.
Is he willing to be hired as a mercenary?
Have you
Can
ever
he do parties?
Okay, so anyone listening that's been arrested might know this.
I've been arrested.
So did they have you interlace your fingers behind your back?
Yes.
And then they kind of squeeze them a little bit, and then if you try to resist, they squeeze harder, squeeze your knuckles together, it hurts like nobody's business.
Yes.
So we learned about this. My brother would practice on me.
Oh.
We would practice. I mean, I have 3 brothers. I'm one of 4 boys. That's
Oh man,
that's how we
your
operate.
Poor mom.
Well, yeah, but like, could you imagine having 4 teenage girls in the house at the same time?
My grandma had 6 teenage girls.
Yikes.
So.
That sounds literally like hell.
Yeah.
If it existed.
All cycling at the same
right?
time.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, she had 6.
Jesus.
She had 6 girls.
Well, I guess that's the question. Do you want to clean up underwear full of period blood or a bunch of underwear full of cum?
Right? What's better?
Which teenager do you want to deal with?
Right?
My kids
One way or
go
the other.
commando.
By the time they're teenagers, they can deal with
You're
it
gonna have to buy a lot more
themselves.
jeans then.
Yeah.
Well, cum comes out a lot easier than blood.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, if
Yeah.
it came out that easy, we'd have tampons. It kind of argues. Theirs is more on a schedule, but I guess mine's on a schedule too.
Oh my lord.
So we were talking about knuckles.
Yeah. Nunchuck. So you can get that same action if somebody's wrists are behind them, and then you can put those nunchucks around the wrist, hold onto the nunchucks with one hand, so like a nutcracker, basically, right? Mm-hmm. And you can use those, and then again, it's just applying pressure, limited pressure, so you can hold on to one person with one hand because you might have other people you got to deal with.
God, I would love to be arrested with nunchucks like that.
No, you would not.
No, it'd just be cool. Like, oh my God, you got nunchucks.
They also do some crowd control shit with them, where you use it as a fan, so you hold on to one and you wave the other thing in front of you,
Makes sense.
Like elbow movements to kind of swing probably 4 feet across. Since people are listening,
That
you can't
sounds
see
so
you go
cool.
like this, and then you walk towards a group of people that you need to disperse, and you hit one or two, and it's not they don't like it. But you can accomplish that with an asp, and it's a lot harder.
It's like a human weed whacker.
You know what's the coolest crowd control shit for law enforcement, and they don't do it a lot anymore, is they used to use Harley Davidson motorcycles. They would just get these big-ass road bikes because they're loud as shit, and you get up on people and just start, and then you start corralling them, and that exhaust is so hot, people go, oh, shit, and walk away from it, too.
Yeah,
And then
they
you
did
don't
that
gotta-
on Cops.
Yeah.
Like Cops New Orleans. They
Dude,
still do that.
Cops was on my entire
I
childhood.
bet.
Watch Cops with a cop. They'll sit there and just tell you, "Oh, this is bad. You should have known. I would have done it like this. Oh, that's good. Oh, they must do it this way. Oh,
like
look at the
watching
patch.
yeah.
Look at their patch. Cool.
I want to hang out with your dad so bad.
He should. He's hilarious. He's the reason I'm as funny as I am.
He counts
I
his
fully
farts,
believe
right?
that.
Or his burps? He sneezes.
Yeah. So anybody listening, he's at 9:59.
Oh, wow.
Actually, that's a couple days
Is it
older.
just
I can
for the
text
year?
him. Yeah. So at the end of last year, no, it was a couple days into January. You know, I know this story because he tells it all the time. Couple
Are your
days into
parents still
January.
married?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he reads something that's like average person sneezes between 1,000 and 1,200 times in a year, and he was like, that seems like a lot. And then he's like, well, he thinks back, I've sneezed this many times this week. He knows already. And then he just started keeping track, and then he told everyone he was going to do it, and we're like, that's so dumb. I need to know about this all the time. So
Yeah.
my brothers all get involved. My family is so good at getting on board with the dumbest shit, the stupidest shit. You know, like you see people with they're holding mugs with both hands, you know, in Instagram. These
Yeah.
pumpkin spice bitches,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like holding it for the warmth.
Yeah.
That horse shit. So, I don't even remember who started it. Somebody in my family joked about it and sent a video like of them holding it. Like, look at how stupid this is.
Yeah.
So now that went on for years of the whole family sending each other in this group chat. No WhatsApp or anything, just Messenger. So my phone will just explode sometimes with. Somebody will that whole thing, and we'll do it with a big cup, a little cup, something that you wouldn't do it with. I do it with beer. I did it with a whole pitcher one time because Mom doesn't like when we drink too much. And then so, you know, what's more fun than making your mom upset?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's more fun than making your
Thanks.
mom
Good to
upset.
know.
You're welcome.
Good to know.
So yeah, we do a bunch
Good
of
to
shit
know.
like that. My
Your family
family's very
sounds really
funny.
close. They sound actually really
Yeah,
cool.
we are and aren't. It's
Yeah. Well,
every family has their
so
stuff.
you're
but
third?
Yeah.
I'm the second one.
Oh, you're the second one.
Mm-hmm. So my older brother, he's 30, 26, 23, and 18.
Oh,
Yeah.
those
There's
are good age gaps.
One
Seems like
teacher
your
in
parents-
all of Napa Unified that got all 4 of us.
Oh man, that poor teacher.
Shout out Mr. Mack, tree hugging dirt worshiper. He has hair just like mine,
Oh yeah.
except his is way longer. Yeah.
That's way cool.
Huge Rush fan.
Oh yeah, my
Huge
ex-boyfriend
Rush
was a
fan.
huge fucking Rush fan.
Yeah. That's kind of it's Rush and Genesis. You kind of get that with people. You're like everyone's like, oh yeah, they're good, or then they're like, ugh.
Well, just everyone's like, Rush is the greatest band ever. And it's
No.
like, no.
Neil Peart has his PhD in drumming. I mean, he's pretty
Yakov Smirnoff has
You
a
know.
PhD in laughter, so
well. You know,
I'm sorry. PhDs in art, I don't get it. Like they're very different disciplines.
right?
Like I don't understand it.
Lots
Good
of
for you.
people's-
Like I'm glad. I don't
You
know.
got
His
something.
research was interesting, but like I have a PhD in drums. Okay.
Can I get a PhD in jerking off?
If you're good at it,
Call me
why not?
doctor.
Gender
Dr.
studies, maybe.
Oh, shit.
Whoa. Hey, can we pause so I can go pee again?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll do Inside
We'll
the
do
Actors
a-
Studio.
Okay.
and
Take a
then
brief
all
moment
that,
to
and
hear a message from our
plugs.
sponsors.
Exactly. We'll be back.
Kale tastes like ass, though.
I like kale.
But
See,
you
I'm
know
a
what? I don't know what
Portuguese, grew
ass
up on
tastes
kale.
like, so
I
I
do.
would say kale. Oh, that's so Disgusting.
Anyway.
I would say kale tastes what I assume. Well, does kale taste like ass then?
No.
God, we're answering the important questions.
We're not
today.
going there here. This is the nice podcast. We'll talk about that on Gag on
I
This.
do.
Um,
You were so happy about it, though. I do. You're
So-
raising your hand.
For
We're
sure.
recording, so
Great. So if you are related to me and over 40 or below at this point, you probably don't want to hear this next part.
yeah.
Fair warning. So I was terrified of that. You know, you hear like, oh, you're going to nut in 3 pumps or whatever, you know. And then
Show off.
I couldn't for like a couple of years. Like I had to finish it off myself. I'd go for like an hour and be like, cool. I think it was an insecurity thing. I wasn't comfortable and I was like afraid to or something.
I get that.
I don't know
Little
what. I don't have that
performance
issue
anxiety.
anymore. I think that's what it was wholeheartedly.
But it still functioned.
True. Oh, it functioned. It stayed. It worked. There weren't complaints.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was young and dumb. It's
Nothing more-
not full of cum anymore. What's up? Oh, sorry, Mom. Okay.
There's nothing more disappointing than when you stick it in and come immediately. The look on her face is just. I had one chick make fun of me. That was hilarious. She was drunk as fuck.
I mean, but were you like, were there things like you were ready to go?
Oh, God,
for
yes.
a while. Yeah, you were
Yes.
like, I need to do this. Yeah, that's okay. So here's the trick. I guess it doesn't matter anymore. But here's the trick for all of you fellows listening here. If you're like, oh my God, like things are getting, just be like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. And if she's like, why? I'm like, well, I want to clean my nuts up. Just be like, hey, I want to clean my nuts up. She's gonna be like, okay, that's cool. And then just pump it out real quick. And then, and if you're that fucking wound up, just like, it'll happen again. You'll get another one.
Yeah, guess what? When you're over 45.
Well, we're not talking about that. Those listeners tuned out.
Yeah, our demographic is 25 to 30.
Is that really it?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, that was the advice. It was for them.
They do give us a breakdown of who likes our Facebook page. It's mostly men, 18 to 29.
Maybe it's because of the name.
God, everybody is like, it's because of the name. The name is great.
Yeah, but like 18 to 29-year-old males are going to be like, yeah, gag on this. That's my impression of Wendy Lewis. Shout out Wendy Lewis. I love her dearly. She is my comedy mom.
Did you say choke on this?
Yeah, it's the choke on this podcast.
It's the choke.
I got something for you to choke on.
And we're back.
It's child support.
I did really well.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
right there.
only make those noises when you're getting paid for it.
Right?
Well, I guess you're sponsored now. So
Yeah, hey, eat a bag of dicks.
Now instead of the Paradise
love it
Fires,
so
he's going to be
much.
like, ugh.
oh my
So
God.
how are those PG&E shutoffs going?
Right? God.
Do you guys? Oh my God!
Here it's
You've
pretty
heard this
dark
joke.
in California.
I know. Hold on. So I did a show in Chico on the anniversary of the campfire, and I was like, "Hey guys, do you want to hear?" I got on stage and go, "Hey guys, do you want to hear my impression of the lead singer of AC/DC visiting Northern California in the middle of October?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "All right, fire!"
And how did that go?
They loved it. I love that. I was like, this is awesome. I want to come back. And I am. Chico, Friday, November 29th.
Woo!
LaSalle's, whatever it's called. They're-
Yeah, let's do plugs.
It's a
Let's
hot
get plugs
sauce
out of the way.
thing. When does this come out? On Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that? Oh, so that would be, what do I have next? November 27th, right? That's the day before Thanksgiving at Laughs Unlimited at 8 o'clock. I'm doing Capital Comedy with Wendy Lewis, running that shit. Should be a lot of fun. And let's be real, guys. What are you doing the day before Thanksgiving? You're not cooking at home. Your whole family. You're gonna cook at home the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
no,
an animal.
We have a show.
Yeah.
Were you
Are you
guys?
going to be here?
Yeah, we'll be here.
Oh, this show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got Carolyn the Comic
After
coming on.
that. Yeah, I don't know. You're not going to want to spend the whole time with your family that night and the next day. Come on. And come to the show, bring your family. It'll give you something to talk about that's not politics. You can talk about how horrible I was to your grandmother.
Yes, we could.
And then on Friday, on the 29th, I'll be in Chico at LaSalle's for, oh, goodness, what is it called? Hot show, the Hot Show, I think it's called. At LaSalle's, 8 o'clock on Friday. All the comics are having unholy hot sauce and then doing their set.
Lord.
So I'm going to be closing that show out. Should be fun. I'm excited. It's going to hurt.
going to hurt worse.
Yeah,
the
I'm
next
going to
day.
cry on stage. It's going to be so much fun.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds
I think
great.
those. I'm on Facebook. I got like 1,000 friends on Facebook, so I'm doing pretty good.
I got like 1,000 friends on Facebook because I was an Alpha Sigma Psi. Alpha Sigma Psi.
Close enough.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
If you want to go to those things, add me on Facebook, or I guess I'm on the gram sometimes.
What's the gram?
Are there
Instagram.
42
Instagram.
other Jake Rizzlys?
No, so Jake Rizzly wouldn't work. Like, it was used, and then I'm like, do I want to just go through 1, 2, 3, 4, no, whatever. And I'm like, the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. So
Okay.
I just, when I have to throw a number out, I go with 42.
All right.
Okay.
Unless it's a 4-digit number, and then I go to 1845 because that's when my fraternity was founded, and it'll just
for
always
fuck's
be in my
sake.
head, so I know it'll be there forever.
Alpha Sigma Psi.
Remember, you never leave. You're always one. Always. Rob,
Like,
what do you
as
got?
the phoenix rises through the ashes.
Yes.
Herpes.
So go
Once
the
you
days
have
of
it,
our
you
lives.
always have it.
Yeah.
Get my side project, Stand Up Dads podcast. We release every Sunday with my buddy Mike, and we talk about dad crap. And give it a listen.
Danny.
I don't have anything coming up. If anyone knows me, they know what I'm going through. So, we're just going to play it by ear and see what's going on.
Gender reassignment is tough.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is.
It is. We're all here
You
to
can
support
laugh.
you, though.
Don't hold
Yeah.
it in. God damn it!
Right?
Take all the laughs I can get.
We got an audience member holding back her giggles. How dare you? BlackStopComedy.com for all shows, classes, schedules, classes for workshops, classes and workshops for sketch, improv, stand-up, and more. Open mic every Monday and Wednesday. Sign-ups at apparently 6:45, not 6:30, according to the flyer. Show starts at 7, $35 memberships. Get your first dibs on shows and classes. And Gag on This has been teaming up with Bag O' Dicks.
Yummy.
Woohoo. For giveaways. We are giving away 5 original Bag of Dicks, multicolored, by the way. So if you swing all ways, there you go. Yellow dicks, green dicks, purple dicks.
All the same size.
Yeah, that.
Are they circumcised dicks?
Yes.
Yeah, they got a head.
Well, I mean, all dicks have heads.
Yeah, but you don't have to peel the skin back to get to this head. It's prominently
Right.
We like our
positioned.
dicks
I'm
circumcised
just
here.
asking.
Yeah, and then 4 singing bag of dicks. Those come in multicolor, pink, and black. And then 1 grand prize winner will get the evil bag of dicks. Josh Means won it this week, so I hope his young kid is fucking. I sincerely hope his young kid fucking pressed play on that. Oh, that'll
What's
be
the
great.
song?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because they
Find
never
out.
stop, right? Once you turn it on.
Yeah,
That's it
until the
forever.
batteries die.
Oh, that's hundo gonna happen. How long
Yeah.
do the batteries last? Do we know? Does it say?
The dude said about 12 hours.
Oh,
Nice.
I thought
That's
it was
perfect.
6. That's awful.
That's enough.
I know, 12.
Do it like
12's enough to fuck up your day and not ruin.
I'm going
your
to
whole
sign
life,
everyone
you
up in
know?
my family. They're all going to get a bag of dicks for Christmas.
That's
Yeah.
the trick to a good prank. Really, is to just a minor inconvenience that they overreact about.
Yeah.
That's the
and
whole
that's
point.
my family's full of women, so of course they overreact about everything.
And they love the dick.
Speaking of women, my
I'm
youngest
the only one in my
brother-
family.
I was at my parents went on vacation, so I was watching their dogs. My little brother was there, and he was asleep till later. And I took one of my parents' dogs, and I went over to my to a buddy's house, and then my brother wakes up and goes, "Do you have the dog?" And I was like, "No." And then I waited about 60 seconds and then went, "Just fucking with you. I got the dog." And then I got a call from my mom saying that that's not funny.
She loves her dogs more than her children.
I argue it was hilarious.
What kind of dogs?
I took Mr. Pickles. He is a half Chihuahua, half Yorkie.
Oh.
Full asshole. I'm just kidding. No, he's a good boy. And then we have Paris. She is a Chinese crested hairless.
A hairless dog?
They're the ones that win the ugliest dog contest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
some of them do.
God.
The Mexican hairless win more
Oh,
often.
got it.
But those ones also have like skin
Why?
diseases and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Sure.
a while back,
Did
we
you get
had
her that as a
Shih Tzu.
prank?
No. We had a Shih Tzu who was an asshole. He was a fucking asshole dog. He had to get groomed and shaved, so the groomer was breeding these Chinese crested, and they come out powder puff like a Pomeranian, puffy like that,
Yeah.
or they only have that hair on their feet, their tail, and on their head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like that one up there. So
That is an ugly dog.
I mean, you say that, and then you meet one, and it's a dog, and you're really going to say you're not going to pet that dog?
No,
You're full
I'd
of
pet the
shit.
dog.
You're going to pet the dog.
I'd pet the dog.
So the best part about Paris is she's actually missing almost all of her teeth, so her tongue sticks out the side of her face, and it's hilarious. Hilarious.
That's great.
So we actually had another one. My mom was getting the dog groomed, and then she was like, I have to get one. So we adopted Jazzy. We had her for like a year or so. I don't remember the days specifically, but then now we're getting her groomed, and then we got rid of the shithead Shih Tzu. He's gone. So we just have Jazzy. And then we
Like they died, or you just
we
away?
gave him to this old lady.
Oh, okay.
I gave it to a Filipino lady. It's now.
Yeah, we gave it to Artie's grandmother. And,
Awesome. She makes tacos.
Yeah, lumpia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Delicious.
So
Why are you grooming a hairless dog?
So they grow hair like on their back.
Okay.
And my mom prefers them.
So do
to
I.
Not, yeah. Well, I don't. I'd let it grow out, but you're supposed to like groom that. You have to groom their feet, or their hair gets too long.
Okay.
And then like you got to cut the hair out of their eyes sometimes. Like if you have a shaggy dog, you might do that just so they can see a little better.
Got it.
yeah.
So the people that are breeding these dogs, like, so we have this other one, her name's Paris. It's our daughter's dog, and we're leaving for 10 days. Like, do you think you could watch her? Like, it came up somehow. My parents were like, okay, we'll watch the dog. And then like 2 weeks go by, and my dad's like, do you want your dog? And they're like, well, it's our daughter's dog, and she left like for college, and we don't really want her. Do you want her?
What
And
the-
we're like, yeah. So she's the sweetest little dog in the world, just the nicest dog. And then a couple years after that, my mom got Pickles, which we actually named Gizmo. I named him Gizmo. And then we decided about 2 months after that, his name is Mr. Pickles or Senor Pickles on Taco Tuesdays. Or if his bid for the dog senate goes in, he'll be Senator Pickles. I'm pretty excited for that.
I just am picturing watching his family interact and just needing a drink.
Very
It's
dry
so
family.
sweet. It's
Very
like-
dry
I
family.
so want to go to Thanksgiving.
Oh, we don't do Thanksgiving.
No?
No, not really.
Really?
We get to go to hometown buffet every year. We did that for a long time.
Ew.
We did that for a long time. My parents were basically like, we have 4 kids. What's going to get them to shut up and have the least amount of fights? I don't blame them for that. I blame them for having me. Yeah, we go to hometown buffet. We did a lot of like Disney vacations and stuff.
Nice.
For a while, Knott's Berry Farm, before they had a major gang problem, law enforcement, firefighters, and military could get in for free, like during the month of November or something
Nice.
like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So we do that, and then my mom's best friend lives in Huntington Beach, so we frauded Disney and told them we lived down there, used her address, and we had season passes for a couple years. So like in 4 years, I went to Disney like 7 times,
Nice.
and every time we did that, it was for like 5 or 6 days.
Oh,
My
God.
parents were just like, we didn't get to do this shit, so you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Disneyland for that long is shitty, though.
well, you would do. It wasn't Disney the whole time. You do this is. You want to know how to do your LA trip? You're going to go
California
down and do all of
Adventure.
them. You do California Adventure for like a day and a half. Okay, this is if you have kids with you, like a day and a half there, and then you want like 3 days at Disney. So 4 or 5 days altogether, depending on who you're with. That way you can see everything.
Yeah.
And then Universal Studios you can see in a day, and Knott's Berry Farm you can skip. So
Yeah.
Is Magic Mountain?
it's actually
I guess
Knott's Berry Farm. That's where
Steve.
Steve Martin got his start.
No?
Played
Is
at
that
the
the one with
Birdcage
big
Theater.
roller coaster? The big
Yeah,
wooden roller coaster?
it's called the Ghost Rider or something like that. It's called Ghost Rider, I think.
Yeah, my mom was like, "Oh, I went on that when I was pregnant with you," and I was like,
Makes sense.
"That's cool.
Yes.
Thanks, Mom." She's like, "Yeah, we were on like cocaine and stuff," and I'm like, "Did you know you were pregnant?" And she was like, "No, not at that time." And I'm like,
No, thanks.
"Why are you telling me now?" Thank you.
Just imagine your kid sitting in the back of your car. You're taking turns hella fast. Mom, why are you doing this? I just feel comforting.
Right?
I feel comforted at 3 Gs. That's right.
By the way, Gag on podcast, you get 20% off. I didn't get through the thing yet, so
Oh, my bad.
I gotta get through the fucking thing.
Bag of dicks.
Yeah, not 50%, only 20, Danny.
I didn't.
Not
say
25. Although I did listen to that, and she said 25, and you said higher.
No, I said
She said
higher
15.
at 15.
I thought I heard.
And then she did say 25, and then she just fucking was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to the wind. 50.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. I don't think that was all right. Just a
Free.
woman not listening again.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
All the
JK.
time.
JK.
You don't have to JK me.
So hit us up on Twitter or Facebook and check the post. Reply with what package you want.
I get it.
Yeah, I really got to record like a better commercial because sometimes it's just very like.
Yeah, your voice
Although
right now is
The bag of dicks are.
Well, I
go fuck yourself.
I think it's great because you can hear whoever the guest is be like, "What the shit? That's great!" And then the listeners get the idea of like, "Oh, that's a really good idea. I should send that to my mother-in-law." You know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Because I mean, truly, who are you going to send a bag of dicks to?
My
Only
mom.
your close friends.
Yeah.
By the way,
Ooh, I should send one to my old boss.
that
Yeah.
guy that would be good. That guy's grandma said thank you.
So awesome.
Nice.
We're just gonna leave it at that, since my grandma now listens.
Oh,
We're
that's
just gonna
right.
leave it at that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So we're at the hospital today, and
Uh-huh.
I had a gag on this podcast sticker on my hydro flask, and my grandma's like,
Did it look like this one?
"Yeah," and she's
Cool.
like, "What is that?" And I'm like, explaining to my 93-year-old grandma what a podcast is, and she's like, "I want to listen," and I'm like,
No, you don't.
"No, I don't know," and she's like, "No, I want to listen," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll find the most appropriate episode."
Let me get the one with Drew Schaefer.
My
So-
suggestion.
I downloaded the Carlos one, and she listened, and she was like, "Oh, okay," and she's like, "So I could log in and listen anytime," and I'm like, "No, you can only listen to that one."
It's not for you. I learned this from Pete Holmes. His podcast, You Made It Weird. I listened to it when I was picking lettuce all the time. I'd listen to that and like the Crab Feast, just comics talking about comedy while I'm picking lettuce because I'm the only one out there that speaks English, and you can only try to practice Spanish for so long before they get frustrated.
Yeah.
So I have a weird. Okay, so you're the only one that spoke English. You got your own yurt.
Yeah.
So did all the Hispanic
privilege.
speaking people?
No, they had they were
trailers or
They lived in a barrio. Or maybe
did they think you were like the foreman or something?
no, they a little bit, but when you go out and work with, I mean, they're people like everybody else that it's like.
I like how you declare. I mean, they're people like anybody
Well,
else.
that's what I'm trying to like. It's so weird. Like it's so difficult to talk about cultural differences now without people getting so fucking upset.
True.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
I'm
let it
like,
go.
we're all humans, and let's just fucking hang out and embrace it.
Pick some lettuce
Dude, I was
together.
making jokes. I started responding in poor Spanish. Like it was always, gracias de nada, back and forth all the time. And I get bored when you say the same thing over and over. I get really bored. So I would start saying de nacho. And then they'd be like, no, de nada. And I'm like, sí, conozco, de nacho. And then now all of them, like the 8 other people on that farm that all spoke, they'd say it to each other. I caught them. And I'm like, I made a joke in Spanish. Look at me. And that's what I knew. And that's when I knew that I was the next Jesus Christ.
I mean, with that hair, you can do anything.
Jesus didn't have curls like these.
He sure did.
So on You Made It Weird, he like told his parents like, you can listen to the stand up and stuff, but this is not for you. Like, you're not gonna like that. And I was like, that's a good thing.
That's
to
what
say
I'm gonna tell her.
sometimes. It's just setting up boundaries, but
Yeah. she
that's
doesn't.
fucking difficult.
Yeah.
My parents don't ever want to listen to this, which is great.
Mine
I had to
did.
tell them what my sponsor was, and I was like, "Well," and I was in a store, and I was like, "Mom, it's not really appropriate." And she's like, "No, what is it? I'm so excited." I was like, "So it's Bag of Dicks," and she's like, "What do you mean Bag of Dicks?" Mind you, she's close to 70,
That's great.
and she was like, and I was like, "You just send people a joke like, hey, you got a bag of dicks, haha," and she's like, "That's it? That's all they do?" And I was like, "Yes, Mom, that's what they do."
That's the whole thing.
And then no joke, she was just like, "Oh well, that's good for you, honey."
Have they ever? do
You're
they
so
have,
brave. You're so
do they
brave.
have like bag of twats or bag of tits?
No.
No,
Maybe
Bag
they
of
should.
flaps.
You know,
No, bag of dicks or coming soon, roast beef sandwich.
oh.
Hello.
really, that was the line, guys.
Oh, sorry, I forgot where we are. Let's up the pastrami.
Because
That's
we've
what we
all
should do.
seen that, and it's never.
I'm just here to promote the best
Speak for
pastrami
yourself.
right here next to Blacktop Comedy. Come get some pastrami and then
At the pastrami shop.
I think it's called. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
the
it's
pastrami
called
shop.
the pastrami.
I ate it. It was really good. Tell
was
them to go
okay.
easy on the condiments, but I mean it's a hot meat sandwich.
You
So
get a crispy
used to be the
pickle.
pastrami man.
You.
Yeah, he delivered to Danny. Like,
Yeah.
he came
Wow.
over here and
He's my man. He's my meat man.
Wow,
he gives her the meat.
that's good.
The salty
cool.
meats.
God, I hope my family doesn't listen to this.
I would love to meet your dad. I think he is a riot.
It is so easy for me to just start talking shit. It gets me in so much trouble.
Danny's going to try and fuck your dad.
No, I'm not. That's why I asked if he was married and all this
Not
shit.
going to happen.
Yeah. I have
Watch
an
your
age
dad.
limit.
Your dad listens to this and he's like, she sounds really familiar.
I think they've seen you perform.
Probably at Tommy T's.
I don't know. We've
somewhere.
done shit. No, they went to Tommy T's one time.
Do they support you a lot? Like, do they come out and...
I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
Yeah, they come to shows when I ask them.
So you have one brother that's a
stuff.
cop.
My older brother and his fiance are both deputies for Napa County Sheriff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's some handcuffs going on in that
Ooh.
action.
And
yeah. She definitely wears the pants for sure.
You do comedy.
I do jokes and I build things.
And and your little brother does
high
school?
Works for everyone's graduated now.
Oh, okay.
So the 23-year-old brother, Alec, came out to my parents as an actor.
Oh, okay. So he's not. So you're not the only one.
He did that, and then a few months later, I'm like, God damn! I wish I had the balls to tell mom and dad that's what I want to do. And then I'm like, all right, that's what I'm going to do. So
is he? Are they all local?
He graduated from UC Irvine, got a bachelor's in theatrical acting, and I almost have a bachelor's in science. So basically, we have the same degree. He's funny. If I could afford to live down where he can't afford either, I would love to like shoot shorts and do bullshit with him. He lives with with a filmmaker and other actors, and
that's really cool.
is really incorporating that stuff. He does shorts and stuff with his girlfriend, and does theater productions, and I think he should do stand-up or something. He's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 23, so what the fuck does he know to talk about? Nothing. Neither do I. Right. So he's doing that down there. And then the youngest brother just graduated high school, got a job at UPS, and he rides bikes, and there's nothing
like
special about him.
Or
Bicycles.
Like BMX?
No, like cycling. He rode down the coast of California.
Cycles? Like Lance Armstrong? Okay.
And he's 18?
Yeah, he started when he was like 15 or something like that.
He's probably got nice calves.
He started, he's not in shape right now. He's going to listen to this too, and he's going to be like, fuck you, Jake. He banned me from his Instagram one time. Probably still. He's got like 3 accounts, but he put like a bathroom selfie of himself, and he's in shape, and I'm
not.
A-shape. So... He put this thing, and I was like, that's the angstiest teenager thing I've ever seen. So I just I put on a comment there, I put hashtag angst, and then he blocked me. I think it's hilarious.
God, the family dynamics.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of us. A lot of us.
We should probably get to the comic studio before we forget.
Okay.
Is that the song you're going to start when the podcast starts? Before I forget? Slipknot?
No.
No,
we actually have our own music from an actual band that was licensed to us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's that band?
Beneath the Surface in the Bay Area.
Is that who's playing every time when it opens? Yep. Oh, okay.
When it opens and closes.
We should probably nod to them more often.
Their new album is really good.
Yeah, it's my favorite of all the albums out is theirs, so you guys should get it. I'm here to promote this great band.
Beneath the Surface.
Beneath the Surface. I was going to say that. You didn't have to tell me. Beneath the Surface. It's a great music group that does music, and you should check them out. Their EP's coming. It's going to be really great.
No, their EP's already out.
Oh, their EP's out. You can get it in stores today.
You can get it on like iTunes.
Remember when you had to go to Walmart to buy CDs?
Yes.
Like, Jesus. I just found an old CD case, and I'm like, this has DVDs in it.
Remember when you had to pay for music?
I pay for music.
I always downloaded it from...
Did you go to the warehouse to buy cassettes?
I pay for the family's Hulu, and I pay for ad-free YouTube, and now I also pay for Disney Plus.
Disney Plus is the shit.
Yeah, I'm already bored with it. I'm like, got it. I'm going to use this later when I'm drunk, the room's spinning, and I need to watch Hercules.
Mandalorian is great. Right. Baby Yoda.
Mandalorian is dope. It is that classic, like it's the Western Star Wars again, and I'm about it.
I love it.
All right, I haven't watched that one.
I'm
yet.
such a Star Wars nerd. I know everything. Do you want to know about the 7 forms of lightsaber combat?
No. What I want to know is... Oh, wait. First, we got to do the thing. Okay. This is Inside the Comic Studio.
With Charles Lipton.
Oh, you totally went over it. Inside the Comic Studio.
Brilliant.
There we go. You got to get the brilliant in.
I did twice.
No, I know. I was telling him.
Oh.
Did you just assume my gender?
Yes, we did.
You already said your first joke that landed well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Favorite thing?
I had another one.
Go for it.
We'll do another one because it's Alex's favorite joke. So I'd say it's so hard to I'm single and I'm worried about dating, because it's so hard to connect with somebody, emotionally, sexually, intellectually, to find all those things, and then top of that, she's got to be able to put on a Winnie the Pooh costume and peg me. I wrote that joke in the Yurt, and then it sat without the Winnie the Pooh part, and I wrote it like 4 times in a notebook, and I just could not figure out a punchline for it, and it just hit me one night in the field, and I'm like, that's perfect. And then I ran out to San Francisco and performed it, and it worked most of the time.
Most of the time.
Old folks don't like that joke.
No.
I imagine not.
No, they don't. They're like, what's pegging? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Listen to the gag on this.
I'm going to send you a bag of
Dicks.
something, and yeah, it'll be great. All right.
Did we walk Jessica? Like, is she like...
She probably went to go sign up for the list.
Ah, okay.
Just so you know.
I was just going to walk out and be like, can I go next?
No, you can choose within the first 5 when you want to go because you're our guest.
Cool. I
That's
got to
what
figure out
we-
where I'm going after.
It's where we present, everything.
I appreciate
we do.
it.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't even know that.
Yep. I believe me, I had to throw a fit to get it, but I got it.
Good. Yeah, because he didn't say yay or nay if he's going.
Yeah, anxiety's a bitch.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about the local comedy scene?
It's not San Francisco. I don't know. It seems I like there's lots of different kinds of rooms, different spots where one joke will work here and it won't work somewhere else. I think it's really good starting so you don't get stuck in a bubble of like, oh, this joke works all the time. You should always be the same material. I think it can't be done until it's bombed. You have to do it even if it works every time. And then one time there's going to be one audience where it just doesn't land and you need to know why. And then that's just, I think, what's going to happen to everybody.
All right.
And I think you can do that here.
Something you dislike or would like to see changed in the local scene?
It'd be cool if there were more rooms. But I think we're getting those. A lot of them. If they were closer, too, would be nice.
Closer to Napa?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on it. It's hard trying to find a venue to let you say shit like we're saying right now. It's difficult.
There's
But
nothing in Dixon?
Dixon is on the other side of Vacaville. That's still 40 miles from my house.
Yeah.
It's 70 miles to get here.
There's nothing in Sebastopol?
Yes, you can go to Hot Monk Open Mic the 3rd Sunday of every month. And that is...
probably an open mic, right?
It's an open mic, but it consistently has 40-ish people in there.
Wow.
Oh.
So they're like, it's the open mic that's like a showcase. I'm like, yeah, but it's also rich white people.
Yeah.
Like middle-aged rich white people. And that is not the best comedy audience.
No.
At all.
No.
Shocker.
Step above
It's not.
corporate.
I mean, it's basically the German people, and they're not funny. Except, oh my God, have you guys seen Jojo Rabbit?
No.
Go see Jojo Rabbit. I'm here to promote Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah. I heard it was excellent.
It wasn't going to release nationally because nobody you can't talk about Nazis anymore. Fuck you. We're going to talk about Nazis. Go see the movie. It's so good. It's heartwarming, hilarious. Yeah, it's so good. Everyone in it's fantastic.
All right.
It
I'll have
looked
to check
good.
it out.
Oh, it's so funny.
Something you dislike or would like to see? We already went over that. Favorite local comedian?
I know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, probably Wendy Lewis. She's always been good to me. Always been kind and works her butt off.
The Awkward Leopard?
The Awkward Cougar. Yeah, you
No,
knew.
I know, but we're the
You
joke
knew.
on this podcast.
You knew.
Boys.
Yeah, no.
Wendy Lewis is amazing.
She's
She is.
amazing.
is.
She puts the work out. She works her ass off. She does everything
she's
she can
just
for her
good-hearted.
kids.
About all that. But
Jesus Christ.
You can
yeah.
cut that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Wendy's fantastic. You should follow all her stuff and support her. She's great.
All right.
At the Awkward
She's really
Cougar.
great. At Awkward Cougar, Sacramento, #1 Twitter account. Best of last year, I think.
Yeah. The Comfortable Cheetah, exactly. Yeah.
And then would she get third? She got #3 on Best of Comedian this year, I
Yes,
think.
she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, who won that?
I don't know.
I don't either. Do you know?
No.
It was somebody I didn't recognize. I'm like, that's weird. I feel like I know everybody.
Yeah.
They probably stuffed the ballots.
I
That's
don't know.
probably true.
I voted for Wendy.
I did too.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to fucking vote.
It was right there on the SNR.
I went there and it never took me there.
This voter suppression horse shit.
Man.
God damn
and you're
it.
younger than me.
Gerrymandering.
Shit. Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer. That's why he knows about gerrymandering. You should meet my friend, Jim Crow. Grandpa, we told you to go back home.
Lastly, advice to new comedians.
Quit. I love hearing that from other comedians who are like, what did she tell? Just quit.
Like Johnny Casino.
Yeah.
Stop.
That one. I've heard it. I think there's a bunch of like big comedians I've heard that just say that to comics all the time. Somebody told Pete Holmes that. It was, anyway.
Yeah.
Richard Gere did it in his show Crashing. I think in the first episode, he's like, "You should quit. It's hard. There's too many comics. There should be less of us. Go away."
Yeah.
No, perform in as many places as you can. It's more. I think, especially after a couple of months, when you start going like, okay, I have these jokes I'm doing over and over again. Once you know, you're like, oh, this has gotten laughs before. I'm going to do this. Go to another city. Go to the other side of town. Go somewhere you haven't performed before. It's good to have one spot that you go to where there are people that you can bounce ideas off of. Oh yeah. Also collaborate with other people. Talk to people. It's okay to. I think. I don't know. That's something I could change. I think it'd be cool if we could like tag each other's jokes and it not be a huge thing. I think a lot of comics are afraid of like stealing or I need to save that for me, and I'm like, no, if we all get comfortable and fun and just goof around with each other, we'll all be way funnier. But again, what the fuck do I know? So,
you should just quit.
That's part of it.
All right, so that's it for Inside the Comic Studio.
Yeah, man.
I have a couple of random things to talk about.
I got nothing but time.
Well, the most random thing I found out.
Huge
dick?
No.
Jesus, Danny.
I mean, it works. I've been told I have huge balls.
Really?
Yeah. I've been told I've had I got some big old knockers on me.
I don't know if that counts.
Did you see Spot Run? You ever see that movie? The fucking Italian guy, the dog eats his nuts at the very end. He's walking through. He's got two metal balls, and they keep clicking together as he walks through. He walks through the prison, and then this one guy sleeps out, and go, "Hey, music man!" And then he goes to talk, and he goes, "You motherfucker!" So see Spot Run. I'm here to promote that movie. You should go check it out.
Rabbit.
You know what movie was good is Klaus.
Yes,
on Netflix. That was
Really?
fucking
I just watched
amazing.
that with my kid. It was really good.
Is that not for? Is that it's a children's
what?
movie though,
Yeah.
right? So I should get really high.
It is, but it's actually like enjoyable.
Okay, like Shrek.
There's no like
It's
sexual
not
innuendo.
silly. It's
just well done.
yeah.
What is it about?
It's a new origin story for Santa.
Oh, I'm not ready to deal with Santa
Origin
yet.
story, like he's a superhero.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they make him out to be like pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one where the preview, like this kid throws a snowball at the mailman?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the one.
That one? Yeah. I'm not going to
Okay.
watch that.
Yeah.
It's good. By the way, I don't want to skip over this. Is big balls not a good thing?
I mean, I'd rather have you have a bigger dick, like a girthier.
Well,
I
Okay,
think,
what if he had
having
a-
huge balls is like being the world's tallest midget. You
It,
know?
it depends on like if you're from the
Who
back
gives a
and like
shit?
it's smacking, then cool.
It hurts. It can.
Hey.
Hot days.
Hey.
Hot days. That's I've definitely been banging it out and then been like, God damn it! I hit my nuts. I hit them so hard right now where I'm sick. And I'm like, I gotta stop. What's wrong? Nothing. Nothing's wrong. You're great.
So is there a problem with small balls? Like if someone had like little like macadamia nuts?
I'm really not gonna fuck with your balls that much.
I
so.
know, but I mean,
Wouldn't it look weird though? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
What about
I'm
one
just picturing
ball?
like Dumbo ears down there with. I don't know when
You know
someone
what's
says they have
weird
big
too is like I
balls,
wear boxer briefs. Like you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
that you have big balls?
Well,
Like,
because
are
they
they
hang
just-
them all together. There's an old
are they
Jeff
just
Foxworthy
saggy,
bit
or-
where he talks. No, they're like
They're nice and tight.
baseballs.
Okay.
Like big old baseballs. They're hard and no, that's
Beautiful.
If your
They're
balls are
firm.
that
See a
hard, you
doctor.
should go see a doctor.
Yeah, you should go to a doctor. Your mom's
Jeff
gonna
Jeff
listen, I
Foxworthy
hope.
had a bit. I hope not. I'm going
I
to tell
hope
her
she
do
does.
not.
This is not for you.
Jeff Foxworthy has this old bit where he'd talk about his mom would be like, "You can't quit. You quit wearing those boxer shorts. Your thing's gonna hang down to your
Oh,
knees." And he goes, "What's the problem?" I don't see what the issue is. Oh man, that album, The Clampets Go to Maui. That one, Redneck Games is the album. Jeff Foxworthy, Redneck Games, and he does a bit. He took his whole family to Hawaii and ended up being The Clampets Go to Maui.
Right?
That album we
the
listen
coolers
to
with
all the
them and-
time.
yeah.
Yep. We got the
shower
goodness.
caps for Christmas
Shower,
presents.
what are you gonna do with all them shower caps? Christmas presents. Well, thanks for ruining it for everybody else. Captain said it was the first ping for distance contest he had ever seen. and I'm ashamed to say my Aunt Rose won in the 3rd round. So good. We're out there. The whales are coming out of the water, and my brother-in-law standing out on the porch going, "Man, I wish I had a gun with a scope on it." How much it cost to mount a whale? Anybody know?
This guy's just gonna do the fucking whole album.
I can't. That was a lot of growing up was copying Steve Martin and Jeff Foxworthy and reciting or like funny lines from movies, and we'd recite them back and forth. And if Dad was doing it too, we knew it was funny because then we would all do it, and then we'd all go back and forth. To this day, we'll be like, we'll go by a Victoria's Secret, and someone like, looks like Victoria didn't got a whole lot of secrets left. Jeff Foxworthy, without fail. It's like a goddamn tick.
Your dad sounds really cool.
Everybody, the whole family. This is okay. That's my favorite part. My brothers and I send Snapchats to each other when we're taking shits. Not all of them. Not every single one. And it's not a picture of our shit. It is only knees and feet in the floor, so you know you're on the toilet. And every now and again, you get one back, and they're on the toilet. And I never feel closer to my brothers. I'm hoping one day we're all going to take a shit at the same time. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm guessing it'll be like when we're in like our 40s, because that's when you really like got to get regular or you have a problem.
I'm going to say 50s.
Stage one where someone agrees to like lay underneath you, and so you get the shot with a person underneath you.
Why would I want to do that to anyone?
So they would. No,
well, you don't have
actually
to be
shit on them.
you can
you
just be
have
sitting
them pose
with
there and send it to
so they
your
can see
brothers.
my goat. I don't know. That's not the joke.
I think it would be like, hey, is that a person you're shitting on?
We don't send any, like, we don't look at each other's balls.
No, I'm not saying.
But wouldn't that be in the photo? Like if I'm crouched over somebody?
No, because if you see I'm assuming you see the floor when you take these pictures, right?
No, you just see knees
like
in a
tile.
toilet.
Okay, so picture you're taking a shit.
Yeah.
Right? And you lean forward and you're looking like you're on your elbows or on your knees and you're on your phone. Kind of that, but then your phone is where your eyes are. That straight down.
Okay.
Where you can just see the edge of the toilet.
Okay.
And then legs with pants around ankles.
Yeah. So instead of the edge of the toilet, you see a person.
I don't think
Never
his family's
mind.
down like that.
I guess not.
Yeah,
You
I
can
don't
send
know if
us a
that would-
picture of that.
I got it.
Yeah, I'm
I know.
fine. Check out the Gag on This Podcast Instagram.
God damn it.
Yeah, not the
I don't think
stand-up
that's,
dads.
that's not their fantasies. That's your fantasy.
So much for you can use that.
Your wife's like,
that,
why are
bud.
you buying a glass table?
I'm not Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, that nasty motherfucker.
For $1,000.
Oh
things can
my
happen.
God.
500.
Yeah,
Chuck Berry.
500,000.
Oh my
500 and fuck a glass table.
I upped
I
my
heard-
rate.
I heard a reading
I'm not doing it for
of a
500
transcript of a video he took about just, oh my God.
He's foul.
How do you get off on disrespecting someone that much? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, what kind of parents do you have to have
You know, I talked to a lot
to
of
do
guys.
that? That's why I'm fascinated with like true crime and stuff. I love hearing about how these fucking crazy people grew up. You're like, oh yeah, it is 100% their parents' fault.
Some of them are just nice people,
No,
and then they just go crazy.
no, I don't know if there's a lot of data to support that. The only one is like maybe Ted Bundy, but Ted Bundy was like affluent white in the 80s. They could have swept all that shit under the rug.
Well,
when you were allowed to be like, oh, he's not, mentally ill. He's just a little. He's not gay. He's just a little different.
Is there a study on serial killers that
Yeah.
had siblings? Like, are the siblings okay? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like Ted Kaczynski. I don't know if you call him a serial killer, but
Terrorist.
Yeah, but the
Different.
brother
Not
turned him in, but-
not a serial killer technically.
Yeah.
Some of them, no, but that also there are some things where like there's almost always a difference. Like women, it doesn't really happen for them. There's like 1% of all serial killers are women, something like that.
Like Eileen Wuornos.
Yeah, or Belle Delphine was another one.
Isn't that a porn star?
No, that's a different
Good one though.
This
name.
chick was like a big Hungarian lady, and she killed like 30, 60 people, something like that. Like buried them and fed them to the pigs and stuff in her farm, and killed them all for
She saw
insurance money.
Snatch.
Then she fucking burned her house down, killed her kids. They did toxicology. She gave them strychnine before they went to bed, which is an old rat poison for you boomers that know what I'm talking about.
Danny.
Yes.
And she poisoned her kids and then burned the house down, and then she disappeared after that. They never found her body or anything, but she got the insurance money for everything and then faked her death and left. She would like marry a guy, take all his money, take out an insurance policy, then they would die. She'd beat him over the head with shit and kill him. It's nuts.
Wow.
But typically it was also head injury. There's a lot of data in there. That's why I'm like really against the NFL. not against any like go for it sports and stuff, but like let's take care of these guys because there is solid data and science to support that head injuries make you violent.
Yeah, CTE. You know that guy's local?
What?
I didn't realize that.
Which guy?
The Nigerian guy that like discovered CTE, chronic lephaly.
Well, you see it with
Encephalopathy?
serial killers. Almost every single one like was beaten as a kid, like hit over the head really hard, or they fell downstairs and hit their head, like concussions at a very young age. It fucks with your empathy, is what we think. Something's happening in that concussion where maybe the part of the brain is damaged or something of it getting rolled around in there.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it
and
fucks with your impulsivity.
Yeah, your empathy goes away. You become more impulsive. We're still learning about how the brain works. Like we really don't know.
Yeah.
We're figuring it out, or as I like to say, fingering it out.
What the fuck?
So I just thought Danny would laugh at that.
And she did.
And I
It's
did.
churlish.
I love it when little kids, talk about fingering and blowjobs
Hey,
and stuff.
I know about fingering. I've done it twice. Okay.
Awesome. You're so cute. You're such like a little brother figure. You are just adorably like dorky.
Yeah, that seems about right.
You
for
get
me.
friend zoned a lot. Don't
Why do you?
you?
What did we talk about at the very beginning of this podcast?
Yeah. Surrounded by sexy girls, not getting any. Like not even one. You never pulled them down.
His
I'm not going to
girlfriend-
go into it
No,
on here. That'd be rude.
He gets down.
Really? That's where you're going to stop?
Well, I mean, it's not really my place to say. I don't know.
I don't think he has problems in that department. I think he's
Well,
downplaying it a little bit.
I was traumatized a little bit for some people, but
Yeah. Who wasn't? Who wasn't traumatized?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
some times where you're like, I don't know, like I think it is the last couple of years, like the rules are changing on how to court people, so it's very murky waters about what you can and can't do, and you try not to, hurt anybody, and then you fuck it up or something. I don't know. It's just it was murkier waters. I'm not trying to like the Me Too thing needed to happen for sure, but we also need to figure out like, oh, how do we ask people out now? How do you go on dates? Like we haven't talked about it since the 80s, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking 16 Candles the last way anybody like, oh, you want to go to the sock hop?
I would love to.
Fucking now with Tinder and fucking Snapchat, everybody knows where everybody is all the time. Like,
Yeah, I don't
what the
like
fuck
that.
happened to driving around trying to find your friends?
Yeah.
It's like the best part about getting a car in high school. It's like, fucking, where is everybody? Let's go over there.
Going
Yeah.
down Sunrise.
Yes.
All the fucking time.
We go up Partrick Road in Napa.
Oh.
Was the makeout point.
But by the time you
Lost
were in
my
high school,
virginity on
cell
that road.
phones were a thing.
Yeah, but we still had limited texting. Like, we still had like 250 texts a month.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
Your phones had Snake? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I know
my
exactly
first
where you're at,
phone.
yeah.
My first phone was an LG flip phone because they were durable, and I got to have a phone for my parents' benefit. It was made very clear to me, it is so we can keep track of
Yeah.
you.
Exactly.
It is not for you. But then, middle school, high school, you want to like talk to girls and stuff, and then you're like, oh shit, I have 3 texts left. I can't talk to you anymore. Horrible. And then it's also when you start texting and stuff, I like first generation of this is like you're not sitting on the phone talking to people anymore.
Yeah, my buddy Mike, who I do the stand-up dads one with, like he's, dating again because he got divorced, and like he'll be texting back and forth and be like, hey, we've been doing this for a couple of days. How about we just talk? And like, I think it's a little too intimate at this point. It's like, what the fuck?
The intimacy issues in millennials is nuts.
But it's ridiculous. It's like, so we're just going
It's
to
a culture change.
It's fucked. Just
Yeah.
talk to somebody.
I try. It's weird.
I don't know. What face are you
No,
making?
I think I'm pretty good at knowing about old stuff. It's one of my
Old
favorite
stuff?
things. Older things. I studied history for a while in college. That's what I wanted to do first, was be a history teacher.
Yeah.
And then now I tell jokes. I was like, I won't make any money doing that, so I'm a comic.
Yeah.
All right, well, we should probably end it, especially if you're going to go up tonight.
This is more
I'll
fun.
show it to you.
Right.
Well, we could do my shitty accents because he did a good
Oh yeah,
Hispanic accent.
your accents are beautiful. So
Oh yeah, no, I can. I
get
got
a
a real
message
good
from him,
Mexican
and he's
accent.
like, "I can't do accents worth of shit," and I'm like, "What?
from,
what the fuck?"
From Nick, you got this?
Yeah, from Nick, I got this. And so we're in the car last week. He's driving me home, and I'm like, "All right, let's hear your shitty accents." Go ahead.
All right.
Do your French guy.
Yeah, no, I want to hear
one.
French. I want to hear French. French
All
is
right,
hard.
So when we had Keith Lowell Jensen on, he does a character that's rumored, Francois Fly. So what started this whole thing is I was just
It's on his IMDb.
It is. So I was just thinking about Francois Fly, and I was just like, I'm Francois Fly.
Oh.
Now, do your English accent.
My English?
My French accent is just it's the French guy from Monty Python, the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Why do you think I speak with this outrageous accent?
Fuck, that's better than mine.
Yeah.
My English one was...
Don't try to copy the whole accent of the whole language. Pick a person and then...
I love the American women and their pussy.
Yes,
Okay,
close. The
that's
end of
French.
it, you went American at the end, but it's le pussy. That's how it's different. Yeah.
And then English
We got
was...
English. Like British, North, London,
It
where
sounds-
are we
it
going?
sounds
Wales,
English.
Scotland.
Well, what should I say? Like, just...
Say the same thing.
Something stereotypical
Yeah,
and
like
vaguely
you like
racist.
fish and chips or something.
Uh-huh.
I like fish and chips. I did.
No.
No,
that is
what the
awful.
fuck is that?
That sounded like
That
my
sounded like
family in the
David Thorne.
South. That's
That sound like David
That
Thorne?
sounded like David Thorne.
exactly. That's what I said. It was
Yeah.
Southern people. Yeah.
Fuck you guys. And then
Okay.
what was the last one was Indian, not
Dot or feather?
Dot.
Dot.
I forgot
I
what
love
I
that
said with the
question.
Indian. But the Indian came out just sounding like the French guy.
Well, because you were saying last week, you were saying the
Dark
same
Mark's
thing
Indian.
in different. Oh my God, no.
There you go.
Oh, we've
There you
offended
go.
so many.
I think you're holding
That's
it. I
really
think
good.
part of it is you're holding it back.
You
'cause
are
you don't
holding
like-
back.
Like, well, but that's just it. I'm not. Like, the French thing, like, that's me. Like, baguette.
Actually, I know. Here's the best. I'll tell you this right now. I forgot I could do it. This is the best French accent you're ever going to hear. I surrender. History humor. Wha-pa-pow.
All right, fuck you guys. Why don't you try an English accent?
I gotta go.
You said English, but like people in England would be very upset because that's like having an American accent and you're from Boston. That's not an American. That's a Boston accent. So you could do Wales. You go to the north, which is fun for us because like our rednecks are in the south, and in England, Britain, it's the north. You know, that's where their tough motherfuckers are.
Yeah.
And then
Scots.
London's
Yeah.
like Amelia Clark, and then Scotland. I mean, you know, Game of Thrones.
Yes.
You know that chick? Sorry,
Yeah.
no, you probably know her from Terminator Genesis.
No, fuck that.
That's what you know Amelia Clark from.
Yeah, that's what we all know we're from,
From
right?
Last Christmas. That's her new movie, I think is what it's called. Last
it is.
Christmas. Yeah. What did she just do? Armchair Expert. That's the
Yeah,
podcast I listen
It's
to.
the movie based on fucking George Michael music.
I like George Michael.
I know how to play that George Michael song on the saxophone. It's the only thing I can do on the saxophone.
You were in, so, okay, I have to go, but I do have a question. So you were like a huge band nerd
Oh, I lived in the
high
band
school.
room.
Like what did you play again? The trumpet?
Yeah.
And you
I
were
played
like,
trumpet for like 12, 14 years, something like that.
and yeah, so
Big bands through college. I stopped about
he looks so cute in his band fucking
3 years
uniform.
ago.
I saw that on
Yeah, I was a
Instagram.
drum major. Do you like that culturally appropriate headdress I was in?
Yes.
Yeah, man. We were the Napa High Indians. Changed
Oh.
a year ago. Now they're Napa High Grizzlies.
Oh.
Yeah. So my best friend Mark was adopted from India, a very dark complexion. So he was often mistaken as African because I grew up in a very white town.
Oh yeah.
And they would do this thing at Napa High where someone would be the Indian of the year.
Whoa.
And he never won. Still upset about that. God, that would have been the greatest thing ever.
It would have been.
Oh, man.
Fuck, on that note, we're going to end it. Thank you, Jake, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Later.